Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx, back in the DJcity UK lab. Today we are looking at this thing. It's the DJControl Starlight from Hercules. It's a very compact, very affordable 2-channel controller for Serato DJ Lite and Serato DJ Pro. Let's get into it. I have a real soft spot for Hercules. The French company are always doing their own thing and don't seem to have any interest in following industry trends. Plus, the majority of their products are aimed at beginner DJs, and I'm all for encouraging new talent into the game. Sometimes, admittedly, Hercules hardware seems a little too out there for their own good, and whilst I appreciate the effort they put into their own dejuiced software, I'd always recommend that new DJs try and join an established software ecosystem as early as possible. So I'm always pleased when they drop a device which works with Serato DJ Lite. Serato's platform can easily take users from the bedroom to the biggest stages in the world, and it has a really healthy amount of upgrade options for users to take as their skills develop. That brings me to the DJControl Starlight, an all-in-one controller with a street price of around $90 in the US. That makes it one of the most affordable entry points for DJs, although it is slightly undercut by the $80 Numark DJ2Go 2 Touch, which is at first glance very similar. They're close in price, shape and size, and both come with the free Serato DJ Lite and can be used with Serato DJ Pro if you have a license for that. I normally try not to talk too much about competing products in reviews, but I really can't avoid it here, having reviewed the DJ2Go 2 Touch only recently. And despite the apparent similarity, there are some significant differences between the two controllers, some of which are definitely in the Starlight's favour. It's a 2-channel device with 3 ports in total, USB to the computer and 1/8" jacks for headphones and master out. 2 things I said in my review of the Numark apply here as well. I really don't like mini USB connectors, they're very outdated, and would be much happier to see a micro or USB-C socket. Also, I wish Serato would upgrade Serato DJ Lite to be able to use a laptop speakers for the master output, as you can with Rekordbox DJ. As it is, you'll need a separate speaker of some kind to use the Starlight properly. It's a little larger than the Numark in all directions, but is still plenty small enough to stick in a bag and take around with you. Both controllers are fully plastic, but the Starlight feels a touch less solid, perhaps because it's less dense. It's not a big margin either way though, and I've thrown it unprotected into a bag enough times now to trust its durability. One strength of the Starlight is the performance pads. They aren't really pads as such, they're clicky buttons, but the layout is a lot like on bigger controllers, just cut down. You have 4 hot cues, loops, which are fixed to 1, 2, 4 and 8 beats, sample playback, you'll need to adjust the volume in the software, and effects. Each deck can be assigned to a different mode, which is really nice and can't be done on the Numark. The only one of these modes I'm not totally sold on is the effects. The first 3 pads switch on different effects in the software, and the 4th one cycles up through beat values. That's all good, but when you turn an effect on, as soon as you lift your finger, it turns off again. That means that even though you can do things like post-fader echoes, it takes a bit of dexterity to make them happen. I'd much rather have those controls be latched in the mapping instead. If you have a license for Serato DJ Pro, it only takes a matter of seconds to remap those to be latching, and indeed to remap anything else on the Starlight that you want to, but beginners with Serato DJ Lite don't have that option. Queuing is good, you can choose between each channel as well as master queue and queue master blend on shift layers. There's no split queue, but there should be enough there for most users. Headphone and overall output volume is pretty healthy, and in terms of sound quality the Starlight is very respectable for such a budget compact device. Pitch faders are pretty accurate despite being so short. You can easily go to a precise 1/10 of a BPM. Combined with the comfortable resistance on the jog wheels and volume knobs, effectively the line faders, manual beat matching is a breeze on here, and there are a couple of other reasons why that's the case. The Starlight sacrifices the library controls which are found on the Numark, but instead gains a very cool pair of knobs, which can be switched between bass EQ and a combo high-low pass filter. This adds a whole different dimension to mixing by comparison, and may well be the crucial factor for experienced DJs in choosing one of these controllers to take on their travels. Just being able to tweak the respective bass on 2 tracks during a long blend is really a big thing. It's time to talk about the thing which gives the Starlight its name, the LEDs in the transparent base. Before I got the unit, I thought they were kind of dumb, a novelty thing only. I wouldn't be against that, I rather like pretty lights, but the truth is, if you choose the right mode, it's actually a very useful tool. You can ignore waveform color and master volume, but the beat flash and fade modes go between red on the downbeat and blue on others. Perfect for learning to beat match, as you can see visually what's going on with the master currently playing track, and pros might even get a lot out of the cue point countdown mode. You can always turn the LEDs off if you prefer, but after spending time with the Starlight, I'm fully into it. What I'm less into on the Starlight is the scratching performance, for a few reasons sadly. The touch-sensitive jogs have a pretty good feel and are bigger than those on the Numark, but there is also less space between the jogs and the pitch fader, which is quite challenging on the left-hand side. The pitch knobs also have a higher profile, which doesn't help there. But what really puts paid to the idea of scratching on the Starlight is the crossfader. It has a decent feel and the software adjustable cut is sharp, but the cut-in distance is frankly absurd. It's so long that the cut point is virtually in a different zip code from the edge of the fader. I've seen a few videos of people scratching on the Starlight, and whilst I salute their valiant efforts, nobody should be buying this controller with the idea of using it for scratching. The Numark is better in that regard, but I stand by what I said in my review of that one. If you aspire to be a turntablist, spending a little more on a portable turntable is a much better investment for a beginner than any small controller like this. It's just not what they're designed for. So there you go, my take on the DJControl Starlight from Hercules. A really fun piece of kit. Obviously there are compromises here when you're talking about a controller which is this portable and this affordable. You're not going to get everything on here that you would on a controller which costs $800 and takes up the whole trunk of your car. They are very different beasts. For working DJs who need something for on the road, preparing sets, doing radio mixes, podcasts, etc., this thing is absolutely fantastic. I love the fact you've got control over the sound with the bass EQ and the filters. You don't get that on the Numark DJ to Go 2 Touch, but of course on that one you do get the library control. So you got to decide, which compromises are going to work for you. As a beginner device, this is fantastic. Not only have you got all the controls that you need to learn DJing in a kind of more physical way than just messing around with software, you've also got that lighting on there, which I thought was going to be pure novelty. And in fact, it's a very useful tool. If you put it into the right mode and you use it with the downbeat kind of detection on there, so it's showing up red for the downbeat, that could be incredibly valuable when you're learning how to beat match. So yeah, I think it's fantastic for beginners, a really good option. Whatever your use for it, it's great value. It's not the most solid thing in the world, and it's definitely not one for the scratchers, but in general, I'm a big fan of the DJControl Starlight. Thank you for watching today. Make sure you subscribe for all our future tips, tricks, and product reviews. I'll see you soon.